Alright, so I have made over 100 videos on YouTube, and if you guys think that I am perfect in any way, I am completely not. So in this video, I want to kind of talk about some of the things that I would have done back when I was applying to colleges, some of the mistakes that I made, so you guys don't have to make them, because let's face it, like the time back then when I was applying was way different. Like YouTube had just come out. There were absolutely no videos, nobody telling us how to apply on Common App, what the CSS profile even is, how do you write essays, what activities should you include, and let's face it, like how do you write an email to a professor? I literally came up on that about that on my own. So in this video, I want to share some of the things that I would have done differently and what I could change, what I would keep the same, and advice I would give to students that are applying for the fall 2024 intake, both undergrad, masters, as well as PhD students.
Hi, let's go.
The very first thing I want to talk about is time management. And I don't mean time management in the sense that you should start writing your essays early or activities early on. Of course, that's understood. But what I mean is actually creating the portal and getting started on the college application itself. I have seen so many students that work on all of these things on the side. And when I ask them, well, have you created your portal? They're like, I'll just do that in the last minute. I just have to fill out some things. And it's not as easy as that. The creating the portal, filling out those details, facing some issues while filling out those details, and kind of resolving those problems takes time. And the earlier that you do this, the better you'll be. And not to forget, the earlier you create the portal, and let's say you open it even once a week, you're looking at the same interface again and again, you're getting comfortable with the platform, you're getting comfortable with things and where they are, what's asked, and you'll be better prepared to submit that application when the time is right. Next, I want to talk about getting hold of teachers, and I feel like this is one of the most underrated things that's a part of the college application process, because as international students, it's not as easy as asking your teacher, they write your recommendation for you and submit it. I personally had to run around my teachers, reminding them, convincing them that this is an important piece of document that they have to write, when they just kept on implying that I should just write a draft and give it to them. When I was applying as a master's student, I was a gap year student, which made it all the more difficult because I couldn't just, catch a hold of them in between classes. I had to keep calling them, emailing them. But it is so important to build healthy relationships with your professors. Now, if you are a student who sits at the back or in the middle of the class, whatever, but you don't interact as much with your teachers, with your professors, they barely know who you are, that needs to change if you want to study abroad. Building a healthy relationship with your professor or your teacher is a key step in making sure that they will write a good recommendation letter for you. And it is a part of the process. It carries a lot of weight on what they say. And trust me, if you are writing the LOR for them, it's very evident that you've written it. So you need to convince them that this is an important document, so they will write a good LOR for you. Now, if you're watching this video, you guys are going to come to the US very soon. And this is where I'd like to introduce you guys to the Dossier perfumes. Now, these are perfumes that I personally use. They have a variety of fragrances, both for women and men. Boys and girls, right now I'm using the Woody Chestnut, but they're luxury fragrances, friendly sizes, and they are affordable when it comes to students. I'm going to leave a link in the description to buy these. Feel free to check them out using my code.
Hi, let's go.
Alright, let's take a look at our weather forecast today.
Today's forecast, a lot of sunshine, blue skies, marine clouds. Just a perfect day to go outside and relax.
Not a lot of people talk about this because standardized testing has become optional, and nobody really wants to accept the fact that writing the test in fact will help you in any way. Now, I agree that many colleges have made SAT, maybe even GRE, TOEFL, IELTS optional, but the point is, if you continue to look for a shortcut to kind of help you through the college application process, yeah, you may be accepted into a few okay universities, but if your goal is to get accepted into a good university, that is not going to help you. Taking a shortcut does not. When I was writing my test for my master's, I was writing my GRE. The first attempt, I did terrible. I got a score less than 300. My second attempt, I got a 3.5, 3.10, which wasn't great, but better than my first attempt. And I knew that, it was okay. So I ended up making it better with my activities, with my essays. And that brings us to the next thing that we're going to talk about, which are essays themselves. And I have seen so many students just randomly ask each and every person that they see, hey, can you review my essay? That's not the way to go about it. Now, out of all of the mistakes that I've done, essays and the way that I handle them, I am super proud of that. I feel like my essays were the one thing that helped colleges look over my average GRE score. It helped colleges look over the fact that I didn't have like a 95% in my board exams and so on and so forth. So I would say I did two things that I'm really proud of. The first thing, I started early. Now, I was a gap year student. I started about 8 to 10 months before the college application deadlines and actually preparing what to write. I would write an essay, scrumple it up, throw it away, terrible idea. This process went on for a few months at least until I decided what I wanted to write about. And after I decided what I wanted to write about, I took a good number of months to get that reviewed. Now, I was very smart about the review process as well. I didn't just ask anyone and everyone to look at my essay because at the end of the day, if you ask too many people, you're going to get too many different ideas and solutions. So what I did was I asked two of my family members, one senior in my high school who had at the time already gone through the US application process and been selected in a university. And I asked one of my dad's working professionals who was at the time working in the US because they kind of knew, what should be in a technical personal statement, right, for my master's. So 4 or 5 people of that sort. After they all gave me their feedback, I kind of looked over and saw, okay, these are the common things that everyone is asking me to change. Probably a good idea to change them. And then after that, I kind of decided, okay, I'll tweak it a little here and there. And that is how I settled on my final essay. So I would urge you guys to do a similar thing. Shortlist a good handful of people you want to review your essay and then get that reviewed. If you guys are interested, you can also check out the essay review at incognitoblueprints.com. That is a service that is extremely useful. Many students have found it very helpful in their process. Now, moving on to the very last thing that I'm going to talk about, which is not doing anything after submitting your college application. Now, a lot of students think that after you submit your applications, it's game over, right? And I kind of get that mentality. When I was little, my parents would also tell me the same thing, that 10th ke board exams likh lo and then you can just relax and have a good time. 12th ke board exams likh lo and you'll be all set for life. Engineering finish kar lo and that's it. You won't have to worry about anything. That's not the way life works, okay? After you finish submitting your college applications, you move on to the next step. The next step is to continue working on your activities, the things that you've actually talked about in your college applications that you showed you're so passionate about. It's not just for the sake of writing it on a piece of paper. You actually have to be passionate about that. And colleges do check up on that. Let's say that it's been 4 months and a college hasn't responded to you. Ideally, you would follow up and ask them, I'm still waiting to hear back on my decision. Or a better way is you follow up and you tell them, here is an update on the things I've been doing ever since I submitted my application. It's been 4 months. Talk about the progress you've made in your projects. That will nudge the colleges in the right direction to give you the offer. It shows them that, okay, this student just didn't write these activities to submit in the college application. This student is genuinely interested in improving his or her profile, and it shows because students are continuing to work. And not a lot of students do this, which helps you stand out and be like those top 5 or 10% out there. Now, those are kind of like the top 5 things that I wanted to tell you guys of things that I kind of made mistakes on, things that I did right. Now, if there are any other things that you feel can also be useful, drop those in the comments below. That's all for this video. If you're watching till this point, smash the like button. The research bootcamp enrollment has officially closed. A lot of students have enrolled and I cannot wait to get started on these summer projects. We have so many lined up. There may be a few spots for the late enrollment still open. So if any of you guys want to check that out, the link to that is going to be in the description below. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Yeah, sunny day.